What's up guys, this is Coach Donny with ElevateYourself.org. In this video, we'll cover how to spike quick sets as a middle blocker, mainly the one set, the shoot or also called the three, and the back one. And this video was suggested by Aljari Andis, so thank you so much for this video suggestion. Before you continue watching this video, make sure that you watch the middle spiking footwork video, because there's no point in talking about arm swing strategy and timing if you do not have effective and consistent footwork. And you can click on that video link in the description below. First, we'll talk about why people hit quick sets and not just stick with high balls like 2s, 4s, and 5s. The quick set was invented by the head coach of the Japanese men's national team, Coach Matsu Daira. And he invented the quick set to be able to defeat the much taller teams like the Soviet Union, to be able to beat them with quickness and deception. This tactic was so successful that it led the Japanese men's national team to a silver medal at the Olympics in 1968 and a gold medal in the Summer Olympics in 1972. Prior to Coach Matsu Daira's offensive system, all teams hit only high balls, and now quick sets are a fundamental part of every competitive volleyball team. There are three reasons why teams will run quick sets as part of their offense. The first reason is to beat the blockers with speed and quickness. Usually when you run a quick set, you should be up in the air before or right when the setter contacts the ball, which means the middle blocker on the other team has to make a choice to fully commit to blocking you. If they don't, then you'll get a free swing with the open net. The second reason is deception. As a middle attacker or a quick hitter, the blocker on the opposing team has to make a choice to either commit to me and be up early with me, but what that does is it leaves the outside hitters or the right side hitters up with only one blocker. If the blocker does not go up with me, then they risk leaving me open with a free swing on the net. This is an important strategy because it leaves the left and right side attackers vulnerable with only one blocker if I'm able to draw the middle blocker with me as a quick hitter. It also helps create greater separation in our offense. For example, if I'm a middle and I'm going to spike a shoot set or a three, which is more on the left side, and I'm able to draw the middle blocker all the way to my side, then the setter can back set and leave the right side hitter not just with one blocker, but there's no way that the middle blocker can recover the entire distance to try to help. You'll also see middle blockers run quick sets to help draw the middles to run crossing plays like the X play, where the quick middle runs a front one or a back one, and the opposite or the outside will run a two on top of that to draw both of the blockers, leaving the high ball hitter hitting a two ball with no blockers up.
Oh, that was lovely. So they ran a C quick, a short behind, then Salah came around in front.
The third reason why people run quick sets as part of the offense is to position the middle so they have a higher chance of getting a kill or spiking successfully. This is accomplished in two ways. The first way is to get a better matchup for the middle. For example, if the middle blocker on the opposing team is either bigger or a better blocker than I am a hitter, then the setter might have me move behind him to run a back one, so I get matched up with the outside hitter who might be smaller or a weaker blocker. Another example is if the middle blocker and the outside hitter of the opposing team are very strong blockers and I am struggling to hit past them, then the setter can tell me to hit a shoot, which is right in between the right front and the middle front, which makes it easier for me to get a kill because it gives me a free seam to hit into. Now we'll talk about how to spike a quick attack. The first aspect we'll go over is timing. Ideally, as a middle hitter, you want to be up and early before the setter touches the ball, because not only does that give the setter a visual target to set at if you're up before the setter sets the ball, but it also puts more stress on the middle blocker because they have to commit to you early, which makes it more difficult for that middle blocker to close to either left or right side hitters. You can also jump right when the setter touches the ball and still be fast enough to beat the blocker, although you are giving the blocker just a little bit more time to react to your spike versus jumping right before the setter sets the ball. Oftentimes you'll see middle attackers jumping both before the setter sets the ball and right when they set the ball, and I've seen that work both successfully at the highest level. At the lower level, you can get away with jumping right after the setter sets the ball, and essentially the setter is setting you like a 1.5 versus a true 1. And that works because the blockers usually aren't as big or as fast at the high school level, for example. The second aspect I'll talk about for how to spike a quick set is spacing and body positioning. When you're spiking a quick set, you want to be at least arm's length away from the net, so if I spike all the way through, I'm not going to net. And more importantly, you want to give your setter space to set you, and also you want to stay off the net so it'll be easier for you to hit around the block. If you spike too close to the net, it looks great in hitting lines because all you have to do is snap it straight down. But in a game situation, if you're set too tight or if you're too close to the net, you're going to jam yourself so you cannot contact the ball with a straight elbow at your maximum reach. And more importantly, you'll be too close to the block and it'll be easier for the blocker to block you. So make sure that you stay an arm's length or arm's length and a half away from the net. You also want to stay arm's length away from the setter. This allows you to swing all the way through without hitting your setter and gives the setter a comfortable space to see you and to set the ball within your hitting zone. If you're too close to the setter, you're going to crowd the setter and they're going to have to set you vertically, and that's going to be a harder ball to hit than if they're setting a little bit flatter because you'll have a bigger range to hit. The only exception is if I'm hitting a back one as a right-hander, it's okay to position my left shoulder next to the setter because the ball needs to go across my body all the way to my right shoulder before I contact it. So even if I rotate and swing, I'm not going to hit the setter. Where you face, depending on what type of quick set, also makes a big difference. If you're going to spike a 1, you want to make sure that your body is facing 45 degrees relative to the net, because you want enough angle to the right and enough space to rotate across your body to the left. When you're hitting a 3 or a shoot set, you want to open up all the way just like you would for an outside hitter, because the majority of your spikes will be to the left of your body. So I can spike the angle and I can spike in between the blockers down the line. There's no need for me to face beyond the sideline because if I over rotate, then the ball is going to be spiked out. If I'm spiking a back one, I want to make sure that my chest is facing parallel to the net, which is similar to spiking on the right side. Because if I hit straight ahead, it's going to be right in between the left and middle front blockers, and then everything else I'm going to be rotating into the court toward my left. If I open up too much, then I'll be facing away from the court and I risk hitting the ball out, and it'll be more difficult to see the ball when it's coming across my shoulder behind my head. Now I'll review what we just talked about for proper spacing and body positioning for hitting a quick set. When you're hitting a quick set, always make sure that you're arm's length away at least from the net, and if you're hitting closer to the setter, be at least arm's length away from the setter. When you're hitting the one, make sure that your body is facing 45 degrees relative to the net. When I'm hitting the shoot or the three set, your body should be facing 90 degrees completely open relative to the net. If I'm hitting a back one, my chest should be parallel to the net. If you want to learn how to spike a ball with proper arm swing mechanics, make sure that you watch the arm swing mechanics videos by clicking on the links in the video description below. Thanks so much for watching this video about how to hit quick sets as a middle blocker. If you found this video helpful, make sure that you give this video a thumbs up and share it with all of your volleyball friends and teammates. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel where I'll be releasing a new volleyball tutorial video just like this one every week. If you have any other suggestions regarding volleyball, athletic training, or fitness, please leave them in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video.